Welcome to the AW Services YouTube channel. This video is a civil defence subject. I am part of the Joint Civil Aid Corps, which is a UK based national charity that offers a disciplined and trained support force to assist with our local emergency services, local government, whether that be missing person searches, that could be marshalling a roadblock at a critical large-scale incident where we're called in to support the police, etc. We work in conjunction with our local county council, who will then action us via Devon and Cornwall Police. So we have to be on the ready all the time, and you have to have a degree of kit with you. So this before you is what I would consider my personal kit, and the kit that all fits within the rucksack that's splayed out on the floor. This isn't including any additional equipment, like water pumps, firefighting equipment, flood rescue recovery equipment, or anything large like that. It's what I can carry on my person, or I can keep in the back of my vehicle at all times as and when I'm needed. So we'll go through, and this may help other members into giving them ideas what they need for their personal equipment, whether that be contained in a rucksack or in a grab bag format. Waterproof grab bags are very affordable, easily accessible. Even through Amazon you can get yourself a decent grab bag that's waterproof, and that's going to protect your equipment. Or you can have a good quality rucksack that's visible and it stands out so you know what's what. So I'll go through what I've got in my personal equipment just to give you an idea. So we have here a personal radio vest, and that's a chest harness that I can wear with a notepad and pen enclosed in the front pocket, and I can also put my radio in the front of that. I put my blood group on there because it's always good to know your blood group, and in the event of an emergency where you may require a blood transfusion, knowing your blood group can help massively. So next to that, going up, I've got my silver military compass, which is handy to have for map and compass use. If you're given a grid reference or an area of land that you have to cover for a missing person search, a compass is brilliant, and everybody should know how to use a compass, read a compass, how to navigate, and how to use a map accordingly. And then at the top here I've got a Garmin GPS 64S electronic satellite navigation, which is brilliant for waypoints, and it's quicker and easier in some instances than a map, and also because that's waterproof as well. Up in the far top corner, orange high-vis vest, my personal ID card and lanyard that I carry, and I must carry at all times. I've then got work gloves, which are waterproof, high friction gloves for working. I've got a fluorescent yellow beanie hat for cold weather, and it also helps you stand out if you're on a missing person search and you're splayed out across a large scale of land, that your team members or other services can see you. Local maps, I've got quite a selection of Land Ranger maps, OS Explorer maps. These are local area, Exmoor, Barnstable, Ilfracombe, etc, etc. Going down, I have my personal radios. So each member should be assigned a radio, and we've got radios between us which work and interconnect with each other. So I've gone for the Yaesu FT65 E, I think it is. It's about £180 radio, UHF, VHF, 5 watts, full power, and I'm using that on a Spectrum Business simple license, which I pay £75 for 5 years. So I am a licensed user of that. Let's not get confused with amateur radio, ham radio. I've got my foundation as well, so I can use that either way. I have a microphone external speaker if I'm using that on my chest rig, which helps get the sound a bit closer to me, and it means less contact on the radio, getting that dirty. I've also then got a dedicated marine radio. So this is a Baofeng UV999R. However, I program that only to marine channel 16 channels, etc. So I can use that to monitor radio traffic on a marine aquatic level. Selection of green dry bags, which are handy for keeping your equipment clean, dry and waterproof within your rucksack. Because we live in a digital age, I've got a high capacity power bank and associated charging cable, which I can charge my phone. I can use that for my GPS. I can also use that to recharge my radios. Pen, paper, notepads. I've got waterproof notepads, quite a few of those. They're affordable, inexpensive, and you can use them in the rain. A selection of multicolour pens, very similar to the Bic, 4-colour, green, yellow, red and black. I've got them Milwaukee, are they? I can't remember what make they are. I've got a series selection of fine tip waterproof pens, which are brilliant if you're in a first aid incident, because you can write critical information about your patient, timings, name, etc., phone numbers on your gloves. I've got a personal locator beacon, which is a marine strobe, which takes one battery, that's waterproof, and that's so many flashes a minute to help locate you. More dry bags, personal first aid kit, which is a absolute must. I've then got a head torch. I've gone for a head torch here that takes AAA batteries, and that's the silver head torch, because I much prefer having head torches that actually take batteries, and I can just take the batteries out, discard those responsibly, and put new batteries in. It's easier than trying to have a head torch that you have to charge from a USB, and then it goes flat and you can't really do anything with it until it's charged. I've got quite a few British military issued, civilian issued Perry whistles. These are the original, what I call the Mark 1s, the blue and orange. Very hard to find nowadays, but I bought a few of those when I was a teenager, and I've kept them ever since, and they're immaculate and they still work. I have a recovery face mask, resuscitation face mask, sorry. So when I'm giving, or if I have to give somebody mouth-to-mouth rescue breaths, I don't have to contact their lips or saliva, etc. I've then got some mechanics wear fast fit black military tactical gloves, which are warm and they're brilliant for working, and I've actually sprayed those with a waterproofing spray as well. I've got a selection of hand warmers. You find these in places like Tesco's in the summer when you don't expect them, and they're a lot cheaper. I've then got a rescue helmet, high vis, tested, approved helmet with reflective stickers on there as well. I've then got my really expensive Dragon T12 watt halogen searchlight torch. These are what the British SAS were using. British Police, British Armed Forces and the Navy also use these. Quite heavy, very powerful, and a long range beam. And then to finish really in this selection, I've got a much larger, fully equipped, in-date first aid kit. So if I have to deal with a rather large incident, I have a first aid kit which will supersede the small personal first aid kit that I've shown previously. And then other pieces of equipment really that complement all this, which aren't in shot, is I have a 20-meter marine throw line. I've got some hand signal smokes. I've got some rocket flares as well, which are marine use. They're in date and waterproof for critical emergencies, or brilliant if somebody has to create a landing zone for a helicopter. You've got that. This isn't to be confused with prepping. I'm not some lunatic prepper. This is just equipment that I use to be a part of an organisation where we support our local communities and the wider society around us. Also waterproofs. I've got high-vis orange waterproof jacket and trousers. I've also got some red Dickies Firemaster overalls or coveralls which are reflective and they are flame resistant. They're brilliant if you're working and you need to get changed very quickly or put something on to actually help stay dry. It's also very good to have a camera separately. If you go to an incident, you need to take photos, have a small compact camera with you, and then it means that you can just give that clean brand new memory card to the police if needed for evidence use instead of losing your phone for evidence. I've also got in my vehicle some large power drive telescopic stands, some 200 watt LED floodlights. I've got a suitcase generator, and I always make sure that I have spare fresh fuel, and I actually use a fuel fit Briggs & Stratton liquid to help prolong the life of the fuel if stored for longer times. But that is a short video, well 11 minutes or so, on personal equipment. If you're going to be part of an organisation such as the Joint Civil Aid Corps, JCAC, or a local response and rescue group, but also items that you could have as a civilian if you did want to prepare yourself for future weather events or whatever is coming your way. But it's handy to have, always good to keep ready with you. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Give the video a like, give it a share, subscribe, support the channel, help it grow, and thank you for watching AW Services.